Daily Bible reading, Acts chapter 10, verses 1 through 23. There was a man in Caesarea named Cornelius, a Roman army officer in what was called the Italian regiment. He was a devout man, a God-fearer, as was his whole household. He gave generously to help the Jewish poor and prayed regularly to God. One afternoon around 3 o'clock, he saw clearly in a vision an angel of God coming in and saying to him, "Cornelius." Cornelius stared at the angel, terrified. "What is it, sir?" he asked. "Your prayers," replied the angel, "and your acts of charity have gone up into God's presence, so that he has you on his mind. Now send some men to Jaffa to bring back a man named Shimon, also called Kepha. He's staying with Shimon the leather tanner, who has a house by the sea." As the angel that had spoken to him went away, Cornelius called 2 of his household slaves and 1 of his military aides, who was a godly man. He explained everything to them and sent them to Jaffa. The next day about noon, while they were still on their way and approaching the city, Kepha went up onto the roof of the house to pray. He began to feel hungry and wanted something to eat. But while they were preparing the meal, he fell into a trance, in which he saw heaven opened, and something that looked like a large sheet being lowered to the ground by its 4 corners. In it were all kinds of 4-footed animals, crawling creatures and wild birds. Then a voice came to him, "Get up, Kepha, slaughter and eat." But Kepha said, "No, sir, absolutely not. I have never eaten food that was unclean or trife." The voice spoke to him a second time, "Stop treating as unclean what God has made clean." This happened 3 times, and then the sheet was immediately taken back up into heaven. Kepha was still puzzling over the meaning of the vision he had seen, when the men Cornelius had sent, having inquired for Shimon's house, stood at the gate, and called out to ask if the Shimon known as Kepha was staying there. While Kepha's mind was still on the vision, the Spirit said, "3 men are looking for you. Get up, go downstairs, and have no misgivings about going with them, because I myself have sent them." So Kepha went down and said to the men, "You were looking for me? Here I am. What brings you here?" They answered, "Cornelius. He's a Roman army officer, an upright man and a God-fearer, a man highly regarded by the whole Jewish nation. And he was told by a holy angel to have you come to his house and listen to what you have to say." So Kepha invited them to be his guests. The next day he got up and went with them, accompanied by some of the brothers from Jaffa. And he arrived at Caesarea the day after that. Cornelius was expecting them. He had already called together his relatives and close friends.